This week on the show, we're looking at strange things that could be coming to an end. First kills that nobody saw coming. More nobodies that might become somebody. A toxic set of individuals that are set to do some avenging and more right here on the JARcast. Welcome to episode 23 of the JARcast Movie Podcast. I am Jake from Jacob Anders Reviews, your host tonight. This wonderful evening of June 22nd, 2021. Hope you guys are all doing really great today and this week. Not a ton of news this week, and honestly, I do have to admit that this is going to be a bit of a shorter show, definitely a shorter show this week, because I fell a little behind because I recently, as of this Father's Day, Sunday, just the other night, got a 3D printer, and I've been wanting one for quite some time. It has nothing to do with this podcast or this channel or anything, just something I've been really wanting, and I finally got one, so I spent a lot of pretty much all day Sunday, which I usually do a lot of research for this show and like videos and all that stuff for my channel. Fell way behind on all that because I was messing with this printer all then. Went to work on Monday, came home, did it more, and then said, oh, you know what? I have a podcast I have to do. I should probably put something together. So not as many stories to go over, but when I was going through the news this week, there really wasn't a whole lot to talk about. A lot of little stories like announcements, dates, things were coming out, new suits, things of that nature. Not really enough for me to go over. There were some like things with, I guess just to knock some little things out of the way. We got a few set photos of the new Flash movie that Andy Muschietti making with Ezra Miller, and of course they're saying that Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, and maybe other Batmen are coming. Something there, I think it was a car or something like that, somehow signifies that Michael Keaton is there and he's coming back. But it also, more importantly, well, at least more concretely, we got our first view of Supergirl, who will be in the movie apparently, and her suit. And quite honestly, go look at it. I don't have it here, but she looks like Spider-Man. It doesn't even look like Supergirl. I don't hate the fact that Supergirl's there. I don't care, but it looks like Spider-Man's suit. It's really reminiscent of Spider-Man with like a Superman symbol. It's like one of those mashup comics. It really reminded me of that. So there's that. We also got a release date for Candyman finally. It's coming in October, I believe it is. And a few other things like that. People really just talking about making movies in the pandemic and all this and that. In other words, there wasn't shit going on this week, really. Still a lot of news coming out of last week actually. E3 was going on, so the video game news and everything really dominated all the entertainment news cycles, so really not a lot going on here with the movies and such, or nothing that I wanted to report on. There was some stuff going on that I feel like could lead to some negative things, but we're not doing that here on the JARcast. No. We're going to do only positive stuff, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I do have a few stories that I gathered up, and 2 trailers to take a look at this evening. And so let's just go ahead and jump into the first one. And I apologize for the shorter show, and this is going to be a little bit slapdash, but hey, it is what it is. I'm going to do the best I can. Have a good time. First and foremost, let's talk about Stranger Things and how it may be coming to an end. Not maybe, it is coming to an end, but not this season. Stranger Things Season 4 is coming. We've seen trailers for it. We've seen all this stuff. We've heard about it. Of course, it, much like many other productions, hit a lot of snags during the pandemic. I think they filmed at least part of it, if not all of it, but it's coming at some point. We don't have a release date as of yet, but we are getting some details about it. One of the biggest details we've gotten is that while this will not be the final season of Stranger Things, this is going to start setting up the end of Stranger Things. So yes, we will at least get a season 5. I mean, assuming season 4 doesn't totally tank and Netflix says fuck off. But this is leading up to the end. This is all coming from David Harbour, and even the creators, the Duffer Brothers, they even said that we do see an end in sight. But David Harbour, who plays, I cannot remember his name, Hutch? Is it Hutch? Is that his name? The police officer, who, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Stranger Things 1, 2, and 3, especially season 3, you might want to, earmuffs for a few minutes, because there may be a couple of things that spoil some stuff here or there. But his character dies in the end of season 3. It's a big emotional moment, big huge thing that was, totally just lost, because I think it was either an end credit scene that showed that he was actually alive somewhere in Russia or something like that. But so he's coming back, and he is telling everyone that, this isn't the end, but it's working up to the end. So I'm assuming that the storyline that is going to take us to the end, and he said it's a very definite end, is in sight. They are starting it with this next one. It's apparently not going to take place in the same town, Hawkins, I believe it was, that the previous 3 episodes took place in. So it makes me wonder, are the kids not there anymore? Them kids, they got to end this show eventually, because these kids that are in this show are all grown now. So they can only play children for so long. Look at it. Some of these kids were in, or at least one, I think Finn Wolfhard, at least, he's from Stranger Things. He was in it, and he was in the first one, and it was only like a year or two later they made the second one, and he looked vastly different, just so much older. They actually had to de-age him some. But so these kids don't look the same age anymore, especially with this much longer amount of time between season 3 and season 4. So I don't know. Millie Bobby Brown, she has a very youthful look, so she could probably get by with it, but all the other kids, they're starting to get on up there in age. They're going to stop looking young enough to play these characters unless they jump forward in some years to account for that. I don't know. It doesn't sound like that's what they're doing. But hey, we are getting a Stranger Things season 4 if you're interested, if you like Stranger Things. I do. I've liked all the seasons. I thought they were all pretty entertaining. There's been some dips in quality here or there, but overall, it's been a really entertaining show. So I am looking forward to this season 4 that's coming, and I'm interested to see, I don't know, I guess there's the overarching story of the, what do they call it, the underneath, that parallel universe that they go to. And I guess they're going to tie that up. I've never felt like this show, I felt like each season had a story. And while I guess there is a bit of an overarching story, I've never felt like it was that prominent. I guess maybe closing up these portals or doorways into the underneath, maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but we're going to get that. And according to David Harbour and the makers of the show, the creators of the show, it is going to be a definite, concise, clear and concise ending. Answers will be given. There's not going to be anything left open to interpretation. I do like to hear that, because if they are going to just totally end something, yeah, give us the answers. Let us know what's going on. Don't leave us on some bullshit cliffhanger or anything like that. If you're not going to do any more after season 5 or 6 or whatever it is, put the shit to rest and just give us a very satisfying ending. Hopefully that's what they do. I don't know. We'll see. As I said earlier, as of right now, there is no release date for season 4. I imagine it's going to be sometime soon, especially since things are shooting now, and I'm sure Netflix wants to get this thing out. It even advertises, if you look up Netflix, that, hey, season 4 is coming, and they even have like a little short, it's not a trailer, it's like a BS, kind of like just it doesn't really show anything, it just kind of shows the title. So they are advertising it to a degree, but who knows when it's coming. I'm sure we'll all know, because they'll start blasting it out to everybody. I'm thinking probably around September or October, that time. That just sounds like the right time for this thing to come out. Who knows? It might be next year for all I know. I don't know how much they've shot of this thing, but we are getting Stranger Things 4. And beyond that, we are at least getting a Stranger Things 5. And it is in the cards right now that they are going to give us a definitive ending. However, I will say, if season 4 comes out and they totally botch the whole thing, Netflix does not play about their shows. You fuck around, especially after season 3. Look at their track record. They don't let a lot of shows go beyond like 3 or 4. So if you go beyond season 3 and the numbers aren't there, they will cancel your ass. They give no shits about creative license. They give no shits about if you get an ending to your story or not. You're not bringing the numbers in, fuck off, you're gone. So hopefully Stranger Things 4 pulls it through, because if they don't, even though they plan on a season 5, we might not get it. I think it'll be okay though. Now from there, we have another story that This one's, I've talked about this story before, or this movie that's in the works before, and I've given my opinion as to how I think that it could or could not be a good thing. It's either going to be really good, just a great, just an awesome movie, or just fucking terrible. It is a remake, and but they do keep on adding like grade A cast members to it. That I'm just like, yes, that sounds great. I want to see these people. I think that they would really fit in here. But I'm just worried that this thing is getting too big, especially considering the roots it came from. And I'm talking about the Toxic Avenger remake. I'm a huge fan of the Toxic Avenger. And spoiler alert, I might soon in the foreseeable future have a collaboration coming up with someone concerning the Toxic Avenger franchise to a degree. It's in the works. Not done yet, but I feel pretty confident about it. We've been talking about this thing for a long time. So just FYI, that's on the side. But anyway, the Toxic Avenger is coming. We already knew that, starring Peter Dinklage, which that's, I don't know. Okay, sure, whatever. But it's going to be a not necessarily big budget, but compared to the original Toxic Avenger film from Troma Video or Troma Movies, it is going to definitely be big budget. This is going to have Peter Dinklage in it. We also have a lot of other names, but most notably, we're getting now Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood added to it. They just keep on adding people to this movie. And Kevin Bacon is, and I bet he'll be a villain. I bet he's going to be one of the douchebags that does something to the Toxic Avenger, or maybe like the main, maybe like a mob boss type of villain or something. I could totally see him, or some type of criminal. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen the Toxic Avenger, even though I'm a fan of it, a big fan of it. I know that there's like a main bad guy, boss guy. I could see him in that role. Absolutely could see him, especially with this picture, this mustache he's got going on right here. Absolutely, I could see that. But Elijah Wood, he fits in with this type of quirky off-the-wall movie as well. I absolutely see it. And I'm looking forward to seeing these guys in the movie. And Peter Dinklage, he really does good. I just wonder how they're going to go. How are they going to do this thing? Are they going to, because the original Toxic Avenger was really corny and goofy and over the top, but I'm not really thinking they were trying to do that. I think they were. I think they just gave no fucks. Troma Films, that's just how they make movies. They make movies like this and they become cult classics. Not all of them, but a good bit of them do, because they go in there and just go all in and just do what the fuck ever they want, and sometimes they end up with a movie that's enduring, like the Toxic Avenger. It is the movie that built the house of Lloyd Kaufman. It built Troma Films. So this isn't being made by Troma, of course, and Lloyd Kaufman said while he is available to be a part of it, to be, I don't know, what would you call it, a consultant, I guess. No one has consulted him as of yet. That does concern me a bit, because he is the creator of the Toxic Avenger. So, you know, if he's saying, hey, I'm available, I'm here, you know, but this is being made by a major studio. It's probably not going to have a huge budget, but it is going to be a much larger film, and that scares me kind of, sort of, because I'm just afraid they could totally fuck it up and lose what it is that made the Toxic Avenger so fun and enduring, and just what made the Toxic Avenger, what made it a cult classic. They could hit it out of the park. I really like Elijah Wood and what he's been doing over the years. He does some really good work. Kevin Bacon, he shows up every now and then in some pretty interesting roles, and Peter Dinklage does as well. Peter Dinklage is a little bit less reliable, but when he's on, he's usually always really good, but what he picks, the projects he picks to be in, aren't always the best. I think he has a better track record than not, but, you know, he was in Pixels, so there's that. But he was the best part of Pixels, I'll give him that. But yeah, we got a whole bunch of other people. I think Josh Brolin is going to be in it, or maybe I'm thinking about a different movie. But there's a lot of famous people, but we're just now getting this announcement that Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood are showing up. So this cast just keeps on growing and growing. Jacob Tremblay from I think he was in The Predator. He was a little boy in The Predator, and he was in something else. That kid's been in a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of voice acting. You know him when you see him. He was a little boy in The Predator, and he's been in a lot of stuff. He's really up and coming, but just lots of famous people showing up in this thing. I'm interested to see. If nothing else, I will go see it just to see this disaster happen. Whether it's good or not, who knows? We still don't have any type of like release date or anything. There's no even a release. I don't even know if they're filming. I doubt it since they're still casting. But if they're casting and they're announcing casting, that means they're probably pretty damn close to filming if they haven't already started. I don't think they have. I think I would have heard about that. I definitely would have reported on the Toxic Avenger started casting or started filming, and I'd want to see what is the Toxic Avenger going to look like. I'm assuming Peter Dinklage is going to play Toxie. I really want to see what that's going to be like. And I think once we see the Toxic Avenger, that will give us an idea of the tone, look, and feel they're going for. And it'll also give us an idea of how this movie's going to work out. This is just a cheese fest through and through the original, but it is absolutely worth watching. Get some friends together and sit down and watch this movie, or hell, even watch it by yourself if you want. It is so over the top and ridiculously corny. It's just a laugh fest through and through. But, hopefully it's good. And, I guess we'll find out. I imagine it'll be out in the next year or so. But from there, speaking of remakes, not really remakes, but sequels, but in this case, actually prequels, and not just prequels. While I wasn't expecting the Toxic Avenger, for sure, not a remake. It doesn't totally, I'm not totally blown away by the idea that they decided to remake the Toxic Avenger. It does have a cult following and all that. But this movie right here is getting a sequel, or prequel rather. And I never saw this coming, and I don't think anybody ever saw this coming. And I'm talking about The Orphan. The fucking Orphan. Have you seen The Orphan? Well, it's getting a sequel prequel because, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen The Orphan, she fucking dies in the end, so they clearly can't do... I guess they could do a sequel, but it'd be tough. But yeah, they're doing a prequel, and the young girl, Isabel Furman, who played, I think Esther was her name, the orphan, is coming back to play the same role, but younger. However, now she's much older. The Orphan came out in 2009, and this girl, I think she was like 12 or 13 when she played the part, but she was supposed to be playing a 33-year-old who looked like a young girl, had like some type of disease that made her look really young. So now she's going back as I think she's 24 or 25 now to play an even younger version of that character. But they say, you know what? That's part of it. That's worked into the script. That's part of the story, which is kind of like, okay, how do you... I don't get that, but you know what? I'm intrigued, that's for sure. They said that this is a prequel that no one expected, and you'll be blown away by how it goes over. They're all the people involved with it are raving about it and talking about how great it is going to be. It doesn't say if they have yet shot it, or it really just is talking about it as if it already exists, and maybe it got shot on the low. None of us knew about it. I don't know, but it's definitely coming. It has been greenlit. We don't have a date on it as of yet, like many of the things here, but it's in the works, either in post-production or pre-production, one or the other. So, but yeah, this young woman, Isabel Furman, is coming back to play an even younger version of this character, but she's older herself. That's the part that blows me away. It's going to be about how if I remember correctly, she came from Russia, and she was in an insane asylum and broke out, and then went to a rich family and left them or something like that. And I guess it shows how the thing with her neck happened because, she wears the ribbon through the whole first movie. But it's going to show all that. That's what it's going to be about. And we're going to find out where she came from, how she got there, how she got the way that she is. But it's called Orphan, or The Orphan First Kill. So I'm assuming it's going to be about her first kill or kills. I hope the movie's not just about one single kill. That'd be kind of a letdown. But yeah, that's coming. I was a really big fan of The Orphan. The Orphan really surprised me. Now, granted, the movie itself was okay. It's fine. It's just your run-of-the-mill thriller. But it was the ending, the last 20 minutes of the movie, that really sold it and really made it happen. This was definitely a movie that totally rested on its big twist. But its twist was a big one, and it really worked. So it was a very enjoyable, if not trashy movie, but trashy in that good kind of way, because you really hear people talk about The Orphan a lot. People bring it up, and they always speak very highly of it, because it did have a hell of a twist in the end, which I've already given away if you haven't seen it. Sorry. But it was a really entertaining flick. I'm interested to see another movie like that, in that vein, that has that kind of fun factor going on. I just don't, because this time we already know that she's an older woman and not a young child. So I don't know how they're going to go about it. They say they have lots of thrills and lots of things like hidden away and secrets that we won't see coming. So I'm going to just kind of go with what they're saying and take their word for it at this point. But in their words, the Orphan first kill is a total blast. Now, this is coming from the filmmakers and the people involved with the film, so I don't really expect them to be like, this movie is a piece of shit and it sucks, don't go see it. But, you know, they're all speaking extremely highly of it, and I would like to think that they wouldn't go back to this movie if there wasn't something there to go back to. But, I mean, I'd like to think that, but we've seen plenty of movies where they've gone back to the farm, if you will, back to the watering hole, and there wasn't much left there, but they still went back because of, you know, money. But The Orphan is, what, came out in 2009, 12 years old now. While it is popular, I wouldn't say it's like a huge moneymaker, but who knows, maybe this one will clear up or clean up at the box office. They say also, what I think is the most exciting about it is it's just something that's never been done cinematically. There's never been an adult actress who reprised a role she played as a child. That's not true, but I think I know what she's saying. I think she's saying that she's going back. There's never been an actress that played a role as a child and then goes back to a prequel to play that, but the way she worded that's not accurate. Yeah, there's been plenty of adult actresses and actors that went back to roles that they played as kids. That's happened before. But anyway, and that was exceptionally difficult and really fun to do, because when I was a kid and I played Esther, I was consistently playing a 33-year-old hiding herself as a kid while I was also 10. And this time I was like, there's a little weight off my shoulders since I just have to pretend I'm 10 because I'm already an adult. Okay, that sounds like, yeah, sure. Okay, cool. But she's saying that people will be shocked by the story and all that, you know, all the PR buzz that they're doing. But this is just in interviews and stuff. Who knows? I'm intrigued to see how they're going to do this thing with the same actress. Typically, in these types of situations, they would get someone else to play this when there's been this amount of time, even though that was the character's whole shtick of playing, you know, or an older person hiding out as a younger person. It's kind of going backwards in real life, so they would typically get someone else to do it. But I'm interested to see how they're going to work that in and make it work. Whether they can or not, I don't know, but we'll find out whenever this thing comes out, probably sometime in 2022. And if you're a fan of The Orphan, hey, you hopefully got more good Orphan times coming. Now, from there, we're just talking about sequels left and right today. It's all about sequels and things that are coming up in franchises. Now, this is a movie franchise that I really, or I guess it's not a franchise yet, but it's on the way to becoming a franchise, most likely. And this is one that just started and I really enjoyed. And we're talking about Nobody. Nobody is getting a sequel, probably. The writer of Nobody, also the writer of the first 2.5, he wrote part of John Wick films, Derek Kolster, is writing the script for a sequel follow-up to Nobody with the same characters. And this time he's saying he's giving Bob Odenkirk's wife in the movie, Connie Nelson, I believe, played her, more to do, whatever that means. People complained, I guess, that she didn't have a lot to do. Well, it wasn't about her. It was about her Special Forces CIA-trained badass husband. She was just the wife off to the side, which is okay. She wasn't special trained. She wasn't supposed to be a badass. She did what she was supposed to do with the kids and everything, but whatever. She's apparently going to have more to do in this sequel that he's writing. The director of Nobody also said that while it is not greenlit, he's totally on board and ready to do this thing. And seeing as how the movie did pull in $61 million during the pandemic, I might add, on a $16 million budget, and how Hollywood likes money, he would not be surprised. He would actually be surprised if they didn't greenlight it, and he would not be surprised when they do. So yeah, it is all but happening. I mean, the movie made, what is that, 16, 2, 3, 4, that's 4 times its budget. You got to double your budget in order to make a profit. So they quadrupled it. I think they're okay. I think they're pretty much guaranteed a sequel if they want it. Sounds like they all want it. You hear Bob Odenkirk talk about it, and he says that he loved doing it, and he's game to do it again. So yeah, we're gonna get another Nobody film. Maybe it'll be called Somebody. Please don't do that. That would be a terrible thing. Just call it Nobody 2 or Nobody something. I don't know. Just don't call it Somebody. That would be just awful. But I myself, while it doesn't talk about it in this article, I myself am hoping for a Nobody crossover with John Wick. Somehow, they don't have to fight against each other or anything, but I could totally see these characters inhabiting the same world. Now, a lot of that comes from both are written or were created by the same guy. So yeah, there's similarities, but I could totally see this guy or Bob Odenkirk's character coming across John Wick at some point in his travels. What they're going to do with this, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing that at this point, maybe he's no longer just playing the undercover, keeping it low kind of guy. He's just kind of out there and just whatever. I'm going to go do some badass stuff. Maybe he's going to be like the Equalizer now or something, where he goes around and helps people in need. I don't know. He doesn't work for the government anymore, and I don't see his character going back to the government. I think that would rob the story and the feel a little bit of some of that special sauce that it had. We like these types of characters, and Derek Kolstad, the way he writes his characters is they're not typically part of like a greater organization. Look at John Wick. They used to be. They like Bob Odenkirk's character in this and John Wick both. They used to be part of something bigger, but now they're on the outside doing their own thing. That's what we like to see. We like to see that renegade rogue, and I think that that's what they're going to continue with here. I hope they don't go down the road of like the brother or son or relative of the guy that he took out in the first movie coming after him, because that is more or less what happened in John Wick. And while I was okay with the similarities between John Wick and this movie the first time around, I enjoy the tone, but I hope that they do something a little different with the story. If they come out and this is just John Wick 2 with Bob Odenkirk in it, I think that we'll have some problems then. It's kind of like we need something give us something a little fresher. Just do something else. Do something fresher. Don't take your other story you've already done and repurpose it. I hope they do. I really enjoyed the first one, and I think Kolstad has a really good eye for writing when writing these really neat, just fun stories, just badass fun stories. He really does a real good job of taking everyday characters, or at least what we see as everyday characters at some point, and just making them just like take a bunch of shit, take it, and then snapping and just being total badasses. He did it with John Wick. He's done it with this one. Reluctant heroes, if you will. And I really liked some of the comedy that they injected into this film as well. It wasn't laugh out loud, kind of like, Farley Brothers comedy, but it was kind of that just he's such a badass that he knows he's a badass and he can take all these people out. And yeah, he gets people whoop his ass here or there every now and then, but he always comes out on top. That comedy just really worked, that subtle comedy with the badass action. I just want more of that. Give me more of that, but don't make it John Wick 2. Make it Nobody 2. Somebody. I don't know. But that's right there. I said it was a short show this week. That is the last news story I have this week. And there was other stuff going on for sure, but that was really, these 4 stories here were the only ones that really made me say, oh, there's enough there for me to talk about and that I'm actually interested in. They were, I will say that they're talking about, or they're not talking about, they are doing a Blackula reboot or sequel, apparently. There's not a lot of information about it, and I'll give my quick thoughts on that because I wasn't going to do that story and I'm not going to deep dive into it, but I don't know how I feel about that because I've seen Blackula and Scream. Blackula Scream, I think, is the sequel, and I like exploitation films, by the way, like the 70s exploitation films and blaxploitation films and all that. I really enjoy those films. Shaft, things like that. I love those movies. P.D. Wheatstraw, Devil's Son-in-Law, fucking primo, man. But Blackula, I think it worked for its time, and I even think that a remake that is somewhat self-aware would work or would have worked 10 years ago. But in our current climate and the way things are in the world right now, I don't think it could work, honestly, if they did it the way that would be entertaining. But I'm worried about the movie they're going to make, what they're this is going to become a message film. And Blackula, as with all the blaxploitation films from the 70s, did have a message, and it had, it had something to say, but it wasn't. It's weird. They would like ram it down your throat to a degree. They said it a lot, but that's not what the movie's really about. And I feel like this one is. I'm really worried about what direction they're going to go with this thing. Are they just going to make this a really fun movie like the originals were? If so, then great. I really hope that's what it is. But the world we live in nowadays, and how things tend to go, and how everybody's always got a fucking message about something, I'm just afraid that it's going to be a really big message movie, and I hope it's not, because Blackula was some really good fun. It's ridiculous and over the top, but like I said, I love those movies. I grew up with those movies, and maybe that's why I have such an affinity for them, but hey, is what it is. We're getting that. It's coming. Beyond those, like I said, we got some releases and things like that. Nothing really else really truly groundbreaking going on this week. However, there is something big going on this week right now, or on Friday rather, of this week, and that is we have two releases. This is the release part, by the way. We have two releases this week, one of which is a movie called Lansky, which I know absolutely nothing about, and don't know if I'm going to find anything out about it. But I might, because the only other release this week, which totally makes sense, is F9 The Fast Saga, aka Fast and the Furious 9, which has been out overseas for about a month. I've already done a review on it. I was invited to an early screener, and I enjoyed myself. If you enjoy the Fast and Furious films, especially the later Fast, like Fast 5 on up, if you've liked those movies, you'll like this one. It's more the same. It's not the best one of the bunch for sure, but it falls in line with those. If you say you don't like this movie and you like all the others, I don't understand it, because it is just more or less, it's more the same. But that's a good thing. They're fun. They're trash. You go in with a whole bunch of popcorn, a big fucking drink, shove popcorn in your face, and just watch the ridiculousness happen. Nothing that happens in this movie, down to the fucking dialogue, is believable in any sense of the word. But the movie's fun. It's ridiculous, dumb fun. If you're not a Fast and the Furious if you're not a Fast and the Furious fan, you're not gonna like this movie. This is not gonna change your mind. It falls somewhere in between, like, what did I go? The Fate of the Furious, like the last one. It's more. I did like it more than the Fate of the Furious, but I liked it more than the Fate of the Furious and Fast and Furious 6. But I did not like it more than Fast 7, or Furious 7, I think they called it, and Fast 5. Fast 5 is still the best in the series, in my opinion. But, like I said, I have enjoyed all of them. Surprisingly enough, I didn't like the original Fast and the Furious when it first came out. I've gained a bit more of an appreciation for it over the years. Too Fast, Too Furious, the second one, is still fucking ridiculous. I mean, like, bad ridiculous. I don't like that movie. That's the worst in the series, in my opinion. But overall, I like this entire series, and I do think this is a series that got better as they went on. Once Fast 5 hit, that is the pinnacle of the series up to this point, in my opinion, followed closely behind by Fast or Furious 7. And now we've got Fast and Furious 9. There's some crazy shit that happens in this movie. My only complaint about it, if you watch my review, or main complaint that you would lob at a Fast and Furious movie, is that the movie does seem like it spends a lot more time setting up future storylines in the movies to come. It is one of the only Fast and the Furious movies up to this point that I can put my finger on that seems like it is preparing for the future. All the other ones were all about what was going on right then, and hey, we'll figure out the rest later on. When the next movie comes along, it's that movie's job to link itself to all the other ones. This one seems like they're looking forward, because they do have 2 more movies they're making, and then it will be the end of the saga or whatever. So there is that's there, and that did detract a little bit here or there, but overall, it's Fast and the Furious. You know what you're getting. If you enjoy them, go see it. Have a good time. It's this Friday, and nothing besides this Lansky movie, which is probably a VOD movie, honestly. Nobody was trying to be anywhere near this movie. There's honestly nothing big coming out for another 2 weeks, and that's Black Widow on the 9th. So the only thing that was even willing to get anywhere near Fast and the Furious 9 was Black Widow, and that's 2 weeks out. But that's our releases this week. If you guys see any of them, let me know in the comments below what you thought of them. If you see if you see Fast 9 or Furious, whatever the hell I'm really confused as what they're calling this movie, by the way. But if you see Fast and the Furious 9, let me know in the comments below what you liked. Check out my trailer, or my review rather, and let me know what you thought. All right, so as promised, I do have 2 trailers to go over with you guys this week. The first one is one that I had not heard of at all, but I just read. I don't really know anything about this movie. I've never heard of it. I don't know anything about what it's about. All I heard was that it was David Cronenberg-esque and some other stuff. That's all I had to hear to see, to want to watch this trailer. I just saw it this evening when I was putting all this together in like a slapdash way, and I said, hey, let's check that out, because I love me some David Cronenberg. And the name of this flick is Titane, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Titane, kind of like titanium, but Titane. I don't know if that's the same thing or not, but it is Titane. It's not Titan with the E. It's Titane. So yeah, this is the trailer for Titane that just came out, I believe, today or yesterday. So let's check this thing out and see what it's all about. Let's see what Titane is all about. Neon. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Is that a tattoo or was that a cut? I like the imagery. It's like that clean, like dirtiness going on. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I get Cronenberg vibes here for sure. Highly sexualized and some, I feel like there's some body horror coming up. Uh-oh. That guy's really familiar. I don't know who he is though. Oh, she was naked. Hope I don't get hit by a copyright flag because of that. I'm digging this vibe though, man. Oh, the director of Raw. That movie was weird. I think they're French. All right. Oh yeah, I'm getting a copyright claim on this one for sure. I have no clue what this is about, but I'm digging the feel. Oh, what was that? Titane. All right, well, that was Titane, and I know less about it now than I did when I first started watching the trailer. But as I've said many times when I watch trailers, I like that. That gave me a feel for the vibe that the movie was going for. Maybe not totally. I'm wondering if that was more of a teaser. We didn't get like a date or anything. It was fairly short at 1.5 minutes. So I'm wondering if that was more of a teaser. If maybe we'll get. I wouldn't mind seeing another trailer of that just to get an idea of what it was about, because that I saw, I really liked the imagery. It had some really interesting imagery going on, and I did get some Cronenberg vibes here or there. They showed this kid that we got here. They showed that kid in a few real flash frames here or there. I don't know what's going on there. We got stuff like all like cut up on the ear and like this whole headgear thing going on. So I don't know. This movie looked really weird, but like I like weird. I like really weird. As long as it's coherent to some degree. That's what you run the risk of that when you go into really fucking weird movies is, hey, this movie could be awesome, but it could just be so weird that it just kind of like loses itself somewhere and it becomes difficult to follow, and you know, you run into a lot of those kind of movies. So hopefully that's not it. Hopefully this movie has at least a somewhat coherent story. I can tell by looking at it is going to be trippy and out there, and there's going to be a lot of questions, and I'm cool with that as long as I'm able to at least follow it to some degree. And it's not one of those movies that at the end I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then other pretentious shitheads online are like, you just didn't get it. You don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand it because the filmmakers didn't do a good job of explaining it. But I don't need everything explained to me, but you have to at least visually give your audience something to work with. That's what I don't like about David Lynch films for the most part. Yes, I admit it, I don't like David Lynch films for the most part. But anyway, I do like weird movies, and this definitely looked weird. I'm digging the vibe, and I hope it's really good because I'm absolutely getting a copyright claim on that because it had nudity and it had licensed music and everything going on. So what the fuck, movie? You just fucked me over. Anyway, looking forward to Titane whenever it comes out. I mean, it looks like it's shot. It looked good, so I guess it's already been seen. It was at a film festival at some point, so maybe they're just waiting on or no, Neon picked it up. If Neon's putting their thing on there, they're a distributor, so it's coming at some point. The movie's done. I guess we'll see it sooner than later. I'm going to look it up and see when that's coming. Now, from there, we have a bigger movie, a more Hollywood production, if you will. This one's, I did a trailer reaction to the very short teaser trailer of this movie that came out about a month or so ago. And this series, this is an offshoot of a series. The series that this is based on has a really bad rap, and for good reason, because the series that, well, the film series that this is branching off of, it has its highs, I guess, but it definitely has its lows. And I'm talking about Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins story movie thing, or whatever. I don't know who was asking for a Snake Eyes movie, or even another G.I. Joe movie. But hey, you know what? There is a part of me that did like the G.I. Joe movie. It's ridiculous. It's not a good movie, the first one, with Channing Tatum and Marlon Wayans, I think. But there's something about it. It's enjoyable trash. I don't love it. I'd never buy it. But if it's on TV and I have nothing else to do, I'll turn it on and just have it going in the background. And the second one with The Rock, I remember being actually fairly entertaining. I think Bruce Willis was in it too. But I remember the second one definitely being better and being a better made movie and entertaining. I don't know which of those two this one's going to follow. I'm assuming the second one. I think this is probably a bit more of a serious take, and I guess it's the origins of Snake Eyes, one of the more popular or most popular G.I. Joe characters. But I do wonder, how popular is Snake Eyes now? He was popular when I was a kid, maybe even in the 90s after I was a kid. When I say I was a kid, I mean in the 80s. But how popular is Snake Eyes now? I mean, how popular is G.I. Joe? Those movies really didn't do anything to bolster G.I. Joe's, namesake and get it any popularity. But either way, let's check out the official full trailer of Snake Eyes and G.I. Joe Origins. Trailer now. He looks cool. I'll give him that.
Snake Eyes. You saved my life.
It's got good special effects. I mean, from what I can see. It's a lot of really quick cuts, so.
Why? I looked into your eyes. I saw honor.
So, because Snake Eyes was originally a bad guy, if I remember correctly. Him and, the white ninja stayed the bad guy. I can't remember his name, though. Is that like Black Widow? That's G.I. Joe's Black Widow?
Warriors like you.
What's Cobra?
The largest terrorist organization.
So what was that? He had like superpowers?
They're going to start a war.
I'm sorry. This isn't my fight.
Then tell me why you're here.
My father was murdered when I was a kid. I don't have a home.
Because we never saw Snake Eyes' face on the show. I remember that. Or in the older movies, I don't think either.
My whole life.
Oh, is that why his name's Snake Eyes? Because he's had bad luck his whole life.
Can offer you a purpose.
I guess, is there a reason he wears that mask all the time? Is his like face fucked up or something?
I still think this is a mistake.
I do like his suit. It looks really cool. I mean, that doesn't make a good movie.
Annihilate you.
What's that fucking rock that looks like it's from
I can tell. You're a little.
the Temple of Doom that he's going around blowing shit up with? Get over here!
I guess you didn't see that coming, huh?
I see this trailer is... Oh, I didn't like that pose they just did. That looked really awkward. Okay. I mean, July 22nd, exclusively in cinemas. Well, so this one's coming to theaters only, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'll see it. I'll go see it. It could be dumb fun. It looked like the action scenes were, I mean, from the quick cuts that I was seeing, at least they were at least decently choreographed. And maybe this will revitalize G.I. Joe, or at least Snake Eyes. At least this character, Snake Eyes. He was always the coolest character, the coolest looking character in the show for a reason. So I guess it makes sense if they're gonna do something G.I. Joe, they're doing Snake Eyes, I guess. I liked his suit. He looked cool. There's gonna be lots of martial arts action and stuff, and wire work and all that stuff. Okay. It didn't scream, this is the next big blockbuster to me, but you never know from a trailer, man. I mean, who can ever guess what's going to be the next big blockbuster? It might be great. If I had to guess, though, I think this movie's probably, at best, going to be enjoyable, and a movie that comes out and is really big for like a week or two and then just kind of goes away. And, you know, hey, there's a place in the world for those movies. I did not like, nothing here was terribly offensive as I was looking at it, but there was that part, it was a quick shot, and it showed like all the, well, I'm assuming the main characters, Snake Eyes included, and they kind of did their hero pose, you know, like their hero pose moment, and it looked really awkward and stiff, and it almost looked like they just called cut on a scene and everybody stopped and was just like, well, okay. It didn't look like they looked badass. They were all just kind of standing there like deers in headlights. So that looked really weird. I didn't like that, and I could tell that's what it was going for, was that hero pose scene. And yeah, I hope they changed that, or maybe they were just about to take their really cool stance or something. Who knows? Probably the end of the fucking movie. Honestly, that's probably the last shot in the movie. They're like, okay, we won, we beat them all, and they'll hear somebody say, oh, kind of like the end of Mortal Kombat when Shao Kahn shows up and says, you weak, pathetic fools, I'm here for your souls. And like they all go, dun, 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 dun. It's probably going to be something like that. They're probably all just sitting there all like chill and cool, and we won. And some big bad guy like Cobra Commander, he's probably not in this movie, so you'll probably hear him off to the side say something, and they're like, G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes, the story continues, go Joe, or something like that. I don't know. I hope not. Jesus Christ, that'd be fucking terrible. But it would be in line with the series, that's for sure. But yeah, I'll see this. I mean, I might go to theaters to see it July 22nd. I mean, that's actually exactly 1 month from today. So I don't know if there's anything else big coming out that week. It's exclusive to theaters, so maybe I'll go see it. Maybe I'll be the only person in the theater seeing it, but sure, Snake Eyes. I've heard about them talking about this movie for a long time. People have been talking about this movie coming, so I guess people have known about it. I've heard about it for like literally like 2 years, and I don't really know why people are hyped about it. I didn't think people were that hyped about G.I. Joe anymore, but I guess they are. So, Snake Eyes, a G.I. Joe origin story movie thing, or whatever. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, either you're about to get a really cool movie that you're going to love, or Hollywood's about to rape your fucking childhood again. Probably the latter. So there it is, guys. That's the show. I know it's a bit shorter than usual. I tried to pad some stuff out and just kind of talk. A little bit more free form this week. But like I said, it was last minute. I'm doing my 3D printer thing. I kind of want to go over there. I keep looking over at it. It's right in there in the other room. If you've heard it throughout this, by the way, I meant to say this earlier. If you've heard like this noise throughout this show tonight, that's what it is. It's over there. It's not like crazy loud, but it makes some noise. It's over there going, it's saying and all that, and like a fan kicking on randomly. So if you've heard any weird noises, it was my 3D printer printing a stand that I'm doing right now. So that's why I'm ill prepared this week, because I was geeking out over printing plastic things. Is what it is. But yeah, this week I got not a whole lot of big stuff coming up this week. I am still considering. I finally finished the In the Heights movie that I talked about last week, and everybody's already reviewed it. I don't really know if there's an audience for me to do that review. I might. I'll be honest. I'll tell you guys here now. I didn't really care for the movie. It didn't do it for me. is whatever. If you liked it, you liked it. That's great, but it didn't do it for me. I wasn't a fan. I wonder if I want to open myself up for that or not, because I know everybody's raving about it so much, and this does seem like one of those movies that if I say, well, I didn't like it, it didn't do it for me, I didn't really care for this, people are going to come on and say like mean things to me. And it's like, sometimes it's like, what is the, do you want to, do I want to like put myself out there for the, is it worth it at this point? I mean, if it was opening weekend or something, maybe, but we're 2 weeks out now, I think, from this movie, and everybody's kind of said their piece. If I come and say something now, what's the point, really? I don't know. I might. We'll see if I need some content for this weekend. I do have a review of, it is the 30th anniversary of one of my favorite films from my childhood. I'm not even going to say what it is, but it's the 30th anniversary of a film that came out when I was a kid, and I think I was just the right age for it. I haven't seen it in years, and I'm actually watching it tomorrow evening, and I plan on doing that review this weekend. And I remember loving this movie, thinking it was one of the best movies ever made, and I have very fond memories of it. Hopefully, I still think that about it, but it's 30th anniversary of that film, and I know a lot of people have rediscovered it or discovered it for the first time in recent years, and it's gathered a bit of a cult following. I just want to say I was always a fucking fan of it, but that's coming this weekend. Tomorrow night for Retro Wednesday. Honestly, I'm so ill-prepared, I still don't know at this point what I will be doing, but I will know by the time you're watching this, and I will say what it is at that point. Check out my YouTube channel for updates on that, Twitter, or my Discord, which is in the description below of this video and or audio podcast. Also check out my what's that thing called where you give me money, Patreon. Check out my Patreon. Set up some tiers for some neat little things that you can get for helping out the channel and supporting the channel and allowing me to further this channel along and do more stuff like this show, plus go and see other movies as they come out. While this isn't the most expensive hobby in the world, it's also not the cheapest. There is a lot of stuff that goes into it, so if you feel so inclined and would like to help the channel, check out the Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of those cool little benefits that I'm giving. I think they're benefits. I hope they are. I hope they're worth it. I will be adding something to my highest tier, by the way. One of my very few Patreons at the moment suggested something that I think was a great idea. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but it is coming here very soon. Before this weekend, I will add it on there. So anyone who does decide to grab that tier, I doubt anybody's going to. It's a really high, it's a ridiculous amount. But anybody who does decide to join that tier will get that. That's going to be an opportunity to at least once a month, if not twice, tell me a movie that you want me to review. Totally, whatever it is. I don't care. You can tell me to review Debbie Does Dallas, and I have to review it. So anyone who joins that tier will have that power over me once, maybe twice a month. We'll see. But beyond that, not much else going on. I got a few other smaller movies that I'm going to be doing some reviews of. I do want to give an update real quick. I keep adding stuff to this, but Loki. I had told everyone I was going to do weekly updates on the show Loki, which I have been watching, and do reviews of it every week like I did the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I missed it I didn't miss the show. I watched it, but I missed my opportunity to shoot the review for episode 1. And then came up on 2, and I said, I'll do one video for episode 1 and 2. And this weekend happened, and I geeked out over my printer, so I missed that opportunity, and I'm not going to have another opportunity. Next episode comes out, actually, as you're watching this, if you're watching it on Premiere, the next episode 3, is out. There's only 8 episodes, I think there is. 6, maybe it's only 6. It's 6 to 8 episodes, not that many. I think what I'm going to do with that one, I will do a review of it, but I think I'm just going to review the entire series. And I just recently watched, this past week, finally watched WandaVision, and I'm going to hold my thoughts on that. And I put my thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier out there already, but I think what I'll do is I'll review Loki, but I'll also review all of the MCU Disney Plus shows that they've come out with thus far, the main 3. Those are the only ones that we're getting anytime soon. Go ahead and review those 3 shows all together and kind of say which is the best and what I thought of them and how they work into that universe. That could be a neat video. We'll see. I will do some type of, if I don't do that, I will definitely do an overall here is the whole series, my review of the entire series of Loki once it's all over in a few weeks. So if you've been wondering where that Loki review was, or those Loki reviews, that's where. I fell behind, and at this point it'd be weird to start with episode 3. You know, maybe I think so. But anywho, that's all I got this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a little bit shorter, as I said. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Maybe some of you are like, thank God it was shorter. That shit, usually you just drone on forever, like I'm doing right now. But big things coming for the channel here in the lots of changes coming to my life and this channel over the course of the next few months. Nothing, I know I've said that a few times, can't put anything out there concretely yet because I don't want to like upset the gods, and just want to see how that all goes. But there could possibly be some very big things coming up for my channel, and that would benefit everyone. So looking forward to announcing some of that stuff in the coming months. And until then, I will continue to do what I've been doing. The reviews come on the same days as they always have. Wednesday nights we do the game stream, and Tuesday nights we do the podcast, and I will continue. I will say this about the podcast real quick. I know I keep going on and on, but hey, I got extra time. This podcast, I've really enjoyed doing it, though it does take a tremendous amount, a lot more time than I ever thought to prepare for it, and that you would think. It takes a lot of time to prepare for this thing. And at some point, because my viewership of it has been very up and down, and I got to decide at some point, is it worth it? I still really enjoy doing it, but I have to at some point say, is the amount of time I'm spending on doing it and taking away from other things worth continuing to do it? Now, that doesn't mean I'm quitting it tomorrow or anything, but I will say that this is episode 23. I'm going to give it till episode 30 because I reviewed it at 20 and said, well, I need to, think about it. Honestly, it just is what it is. I really enjoy doing it, and I really enjoy interacting with everyone on premiere night. But when I get to episode 30, I think I'm going to sit down and realistically review the situation and see if this needs to continue, or maybe it would continue in every 2 weeks instead of every week or something like that. Or maybe the viewership will pick up considerably between now and then, and it's like, okay, it is worth doing it. Now, I mean, it's not all about the views, but quite honestly, at some point, I put more time and effort into this podcast than I do any other video. Now, granted, I have some years of experience of making my other videos, so I can do them fairly quickly, but tracking down all these stories, breaking them down, getting all that stuff together, it takes time. So I got to at some point say, how much more other quality content could I be making if I wasn't doing this? So I got to weigh that all out. Just letting you know, we're still quite a few shows away from me making that decision, but I will be reviewing it around the 30th episode. We'll see. Who knows what happens? I hope it picks up because I do enjoy doing this every week. But that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you to see anyone who is here tomorrow night on Retro Wednesday. If you're watching this after that, then come on by any Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock Central Time and check out my live stream that I do playing just random different games. Last week we played Flight Simulator, and we just kind of flew around, let the chat tell me where they wanted me to fly, giving me coordinates, all kinds of stuff. Tried to find Area 51, never really got there, but we did find some other landmarks such as the Eiffel Tower and one of my viewers' homes. We don't know what his address was, but he said fly over this area, and he's somewhere in that area apparently. But he's brave. But beyond that, if you are listening to this and you prefer the video version, check out my YouTube channel, Jacob Anders Reviews, and you can watch this every Tuesday evening at 9 o'clock Central Time on the premiere as we chat in the live chat as it's premiering. I'm always there. And if you're watching it and you prefer the audio version, check it out on all major podcasting platforms. Now, I will say, break away from that real quick. I kind of screwed up and haven't uploaded the past 2 episodes, I think. So I'm going to just kind of blast them all out with this one this week. So if you are someone who actually checks out the audio version and is like, you haven't updated that in like 2 weeks, that's why I forgot. So my bad. That was just, I had a lot on my plate and I kind of forgot it. So, but if you are watching it and would prefer to listen to it at work or car or whatever, just support the audio version. Check it out on all major podcasting platforms. If it's not on one that you prefer, let me know and I will get it on there. It's pretty easy. Check out my Discord, link in the description below. Check out my Patreon if you want to help out. It's in the description below as well. Check it out either way and just see if any of it speaks to you. And if it doesn't, hey, just keep on showing up, because that's the biggest support you could ever give this channel, is to show up, watch the videos, and hang out and talk and have some good conversation about some good movies. That is all I got, guys. I will see you all tomorrow evening, or next time on this show, or next time you click on one of my videos. I appreciate it all. You guys have an awesome week. Peace out. I did it again. What the fuck? That is so goddamn corny.